Hello everyone, I'm Coyote Jack, and well, I heard this one the last week, many people talking about this, but look at the situation, how it started and how it's going. So, after Wuchang Fallen Fairy's controversial patch 1.5 made key bosses immortal, here is the obligatory rollback mode. Sadly, you'll have to be willing to sacrifice the patch author's changes. So, there is this game from China, and well, the CCP demanded to those developers to censor themselves, and the thing is, all those changes that they did in this version of this patch, they did an entire different game. And yeah, I know if people have the right to call this shit out. At the end of the day, censorship is still censorship. Doesn't matter, it's a fucking far left retard doing it. Doesn't matter, it's Japan cocking themselves doing it. Doesn't matter if Japan, China is doing themselves. Censorship, at the end of the day, it is censorship. And the way how they did it is just basically a bait and switch. They baited people into trying their game in their version 1.0, and they just, well, they stripping them from their main game and delivered an entire different thing after they they released this patch. And modders, well, they found their workaround to, hey, this is how you can play your the original intended version. Fuck the CCP. So I'm okay with that. So last week, Soul Light's Butch and Fallen Ferris got a patch that rendered a number of its bosses unkillable, seemingly in response to pressure from some Chinese players. For those who aren't keeping the patch changes, which particularly transport the challenge, you'll face in the game's for region. There's a now a mode dedicated to doing them by letting you roll back to the previous version. Even while reading this, I remember people mentioned that some areas got inaccessible. So yeah, also removing access to content, yeah, it's that shit. For a more in-depth view of the changes, patch 1.5 made and what they mean for the game, it's well worth reading or Jeremy's story. No, thank you. I'm going to go to the short version. So the short version is that a number of big foes associated with the Ming Dynasty have been made to fall down in exhaustion when you defeat them, rather than being killed. And as you might imagine, this has implications not just in terms of minute-to-minute experience of playing Wuchen, but also the story it tells. Yeah, delivering a different product. You know, this is the way that also the CCP, well, the Chinese players have to face when dealing with the censorship. This happens to them on daily basis, and I dislike it. I really dislike it, to be honest. As with Fallout 4 busted next gen update last year, modders are trying to help players who can't to roll their game back to the previous version. ABK95 has stepped out to the task with the self-explanatory rollback censorship patch, which in 1.5 massively downgrades the game experience. Yeah, it is. I remember this guy. I was watching one stream one of those guys. Yeah, he got a tinfoil hat primarily because he doesn't trust at all, and he is in his right mind that and everyone should never trust the mandatory updates or immediate always activated function of that. Primarily because you don't know when they are going to pull out this shit. And yeah, he was playing it, and no, I'm going to keep it in version 1.0. So yeah, he has version 1.0 and he was playing it until he showed me, yeah, I'm not going to update it. This is the real game. So imagine this. We are out of options. Even maybe it's because I was thinking that if AAA if China takes over, yeah, it's not going to be an issue. But yeah, I was wrong on that one. So it seems that AAA as a whole deserves to die. So leaving only indies and double A's, but only if the West are willing to stop to destroy themselves in this path that we have seen. And also, well, Japan and Asia, they are the ones catching on. Going indie. I don't think China can go indie primarily because, well, being in mainland is you have to abide to the rules of the CCP. But well. Let's continue. Its creator wrote in the mod description, most late game bosses, NPCs, and enemy now get exhausted instead of dying and give you meaningless banter instead of story advancing dialogue from the original game. Basically, patch 1.5 has ruined the game story and immersion, and the mod will take you back to the version 1.4 of Wuchang, which means that in getting rid of the patch 1.5 boss tweaks, you also be ditching more useful changes like weakened up healing animations and a revamping on how Wuchang gets back up after being knocked down. If you choose to download it, you'll get the file called Wuchang rollback.exe, which it instructs you to extract and then run in your game's root folder. So yeah, even among the sales censorship, it had quality of life improvements. Seriously, pisses me off. Seeing this shit pisses me the fuck up. Oh, but we did some improvements despite that we did that censorship. How many times we have seen this? I already covered many of them. We schoolgirls, Terraria, man, RuneScape, and also so recently even Halo the Master Chief Collection. They did a censorship patch where they removed the word well self Minecrafting in the game when you fuck up, and it was something that has existed there for the longest time. GTA 5 with DJ Online, yeah, that self deletion moment, they deleted that function from the game. The animation got deleted after a fucking decade, more than a fucking decade. That that animation is gone. Yeah, we are seeing this censorship from all sides at this point. And I don't know, the CCP reaction to this is because we don't want you to insult our religion or our beliefs of our dynasty and all of that shit. Well, it's a fictional game. And also, the developers are at fault here. If they're actually delivering like this in the fucking first place, at that point, even I have said that even in Japan there is this shit happening that I also despise, that is censorship at source level. And in this case, nobody would have noticed if China did this primarily because, well, not many people pay much attention to their language other when they see the Steam reviews. And it's funny that I'm touching that topic because, well, we are seeing right now all of this unfolding with Wuchang the Fallen Feathers, but also look how the other side is going for Steam. So Valve changed how Steam user reviews works, similarly to counter review bombing. So I have to say this: while Wuchang is actually facing obviously the review bombing they fucking deserve, yeah, they want this. Steam want this censorship. It is censorship. We are going to get to that. They are going to try to push this censorship to protect Chinese AAA gaming, primarily because right now, even among all of this madness, this dying legacy industry, yeah, China is the one that actually people have their interest right now because they have pulling stuff that people would rather play. Even we have seen what Crapcon is doing to Omnimusha, and well, also selling you screen mirrors as a feature. But considering Taiwan start doing more money is China right now, yeah, Valve is just going to bend over to them. But and let's see what they have done. Valve has changed how it counts user reviews for bigger games on Steam, likely in order to reduce the effects of coordinated review bombing. Here's the thing. I'm not against review bombing. In fact, I despise. I have to tell you that this. I despise any single individual that even I have ever talked in person that was a fucking blindness consumer. That saying, oh, I don't believe in the review bombing. I just buy the game, I buy and consume, and I make my own opinion of it, even if I'm having buyer's remorse and I'm having a biased opinion trying to defend it after wasting my money. That fun fucking retards. They are not to be trusted. I know some review bombing can be stupid, but you know what it is? It's investigating say reviews. Okay, there is a pattern among all of those negative reviews. Let's see what they are saying. Is this someone going full mentally ill? Well, you can disregard them, and everyone can move on. When it's something because censorship patch, which is, hey, remember when schoolgirls was actually being insanely review bombed, and Steam went on its way to delete all of those negative reviews primarily because of the censorship patch. Because hey, we're running on defense of these fuckers. Yeah, Steam is not trustworthy anymore. It's still the best platform for video games for the most part, but not for all of them. Yeah, if new developers come out, yeah, I would rather see them selling their stuff in a different place without DRM and with all the fixes and optimizations at version 1.0. Hey, it used to be the norm having functional games from the disk, and they're doing this primarily to defend Wuchang. This review bombing is, yeah, to protect bigger AAA games that are actually making the money. So, well, let's see what they have done. There are two ways I work hard whenever a game for me or not. First, I check critic reviews, especially from critics I respect and whose tastes align with my own. Then I check on Steam reviews. I tend to filter by players who put serious hours into whatever game I'm checking out. But overall consensus helps too. I'm a little worried that I like checking out games and films and books with mixed reviews rather than a five stars classes. Yeah, yeah, I really this. I know what you're saying. This fucking introduction. Let's keep it. However, Valve is making changes to make to is making changes to how user review scores are presented on its storefronts. This could change how we see aggregators going forward. Valve announced that changes to Steam user reviews to give a quote-unquote better indication of user sentiment. A Steam user review system has been in place for nearly 12 years with only minor iterations, but Valve is now adding language-specific review scores for games that reach large enough numbers of players. So, since my main language is Spanish, if I go to Steam, I only going to see the Spanish ones. And I have seen this filter being toggled on. When I want to see all reviews, yeah, I need to take off that filter. I need to remove it because I only see people reviewing in Spanish, and then after I change, I see the English ones. And sure, I can see some mentally ill retarded people putting that there, or people say, hey, I refunded this game because didn't work, all of this shit. And meanwhile, I'm seeing the bias in the Spanish version. It happened something similar in the Xbox storefront. Yeah, Xbox storefront has the same way. You can only see the reviews based on your language, but most of our in that region from LATAM, you have very retarded people, landless consumers. Yeah, I have to say it like that. And we have seen that even they put the most retarded reviews. So yeah, it is not. It's easy to notice that. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of well review manipulation going on here. Oh, I don't know what I'm saying. They worked perfectly fine for me. They're just fucking bitching that they don't have a better PC yet. That's kind of retarded reviews. Ah man, so whenever you're playing one of the FPS games of an indie game that is hit big time, you may encounter a review score aggregated not from the overall player consensus, but the average of players writing in your language specifically. In a pro release, Valve explained its reasoning, saying that customers in different regions of the world may have a vastly different experience from each other for the same game. Or could be because they are also seeing, hey, there is a different version of the same game and they have done this shit. Oh, they just screw out all of our regions. And it happens that could be the Chinese, the Japanese, the French putting the reviews telling you, oh, so this is what happened. Oh, okay, now it makes sense. Proper research can be done with all of this. So they cite translations issues, cultural reference, s- translation issues, cultural reference. So you want to localize the reviews, yeah, and you can't. You have to delete it. Seriously, fucking Steam is just stupid. They're just doing stupid decisions. Poor network connections. Nah, 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 nah. Go fuck yourself with that one. Nah, nah. Yeah, nobody is believing that shit. Another reasons, but it's an elephant in the room. Review bombing is a practice where players showcase their distaste for a particular game by spamming bad reviews in a coordinated fashion. It's different from your reviewing a game poorly because the reviews are posted in bad faith. Yeah, exactly. And those ones can be disregarded so easy, or as a reaction to news rather than an accurate portrayal of the game. Review bombs can be enacted for numerous reasons, including changes to monetization, exactly, perceived self-censorship of explicit material, or any kind of material, just like what happened with Wuchang, or just because your favorite game didn't win Game of the Year. Yeah, or even retarded this versions of this. This there are reasons. One's being retarded, one's perfectly valid. Hey, why you support a developer that there's going to screw you up way later after you buy? The latter example was widely publicized review bomb from predominantly Chinese players who wanted Black Wimugon to win the prestigious award. Yeah, but I have to say like this. Those ones can be disregarded and can be laughed at. Simple as that. Unable to leave reviews on the winner Astrobot because it's not on Steam, players turned their anger on Baldur's Gate 3. Nah, I don't know who did that shit. As Lion Swing Beings was one of the announced Astrobot win. Nah, this one it was retarded. I don't know who even. Or maybe it's because some of those fuckers, yeah, so many ponies created the Steam accounts and then bought again and refunded it. Could be something like that, yeah, because even you can let a review and in that review you can get tagged if that person actually refunded again and how many hours put out with this. And if they just did it just to let a review bomb before the refund window limit, before reaching that point, yeah, they could try that shit. Still, new rules may prevent such language-based reviews from impacting the scores you see. Alternatively, it may be encouraged would be review bombers to learn English or utilize translations in order to impact the review scores of our English-speaking players. And you know, even someone can just go right now to whatever X region with that URL on Steam or use a VPN and toggle on those reviews, seeing it in the main language and go to Google Translate. Even what they're doing is just stupid. It can be even circumvented, but yeah, people tend to forget what's going on. So it's just to keep in mind how they are going to cover all of these controversies. If you're not a fan of the system, however, you can head into your Steam settings to change it back to showing the overall review score. Disable the new update if you wish. However, with high thresholds for showing language-based reviews at minimum 2000 publicly visible reviews and at least 200 written reviews in a given language, it seems like it will be harder for the game to sustain going forward. Yeah, they are going to make it so difficult primarily to protect those AAA games that they have hype, and yeah, they can keep pushing all these bait and switch. Yeah, at this point, China they deserve to fall. With AAA, the ones at least we haven't seen from gacha games fucking bad. Well, I heard one. Girls Frontline 2 is having some issues with the monetization because one of the most favorite characters is having a $200 gacha skin. And, well, if the whales leave, the game is going to die. That's how it works. But yeah, all of this shit is happening in just a short amount of time. Yeah, this fucking rodent industry deserves to die. And if China wants to play like this, yeah, at this point I'm just going to lose the interest in what they have to offer. You have to give it in version 1.0. It needs to work properly. be optimized. Otherwise, I don't care. I don't fucking care, and I can go pledge hentai games, Blue Archive, other gacha games, and my already existing library of games. That's it. Thanks for watching, and please take care.